So I just finished my Grian cosplay. By that I mean I just finished the wings for my Grian cosplay. And so now I'm going to teach you guys how I did it. So the wings have three main parts. They have the bases themselves, which are made of PVC pipe. They have the harness, which is how they get attached together and attached to my back. And they have the covers. First thing we're going to work on is dealing with the harness. So these guys are obviously made out of PVC pipes. There's a bunch of different parts. We've got two on the bottom, two going up, and one on the side. And I'll explain why there's two. That's what allows it to open and close. That's how you make it a two-segment wing open and close. Because if you have one fold, you can just push and pull it open. But with two, you need these guys to make sort of a machine. So you push forward, pull out to make it open, push forward and pull back to make it close. That's how this guy works. These pins in here are, they have a bunch of holes through them. They are, I forget what they're called. I'll put it up on screen. But they have these guys going through them, and that's how they're able to have a little bit of give so that they can rotate, but also enough so that they can stay together. And this is the handle of which I open it with. So a lot of wings use a pull tab to open, but that doesn't work for two segments. It would work for one if I had a pull tab here, I could just pop that guy open, but it doesn't work for two segments. So I use a handle and I push. So I push out on the handle, they open out like that. Show you again, push out on the handle, push out on the handle, and they open like that. Sort of the way that it would open on a normal bird wing, except I'm using my own arms to push it open and pull it back in. And that handle is screwed on with L brackets. So the handle is decorated with feathers because, as you'll see in a little bit, it is exposed. But it's got these L brackets which attach it on, screw through, screw through, screw through, and it's sanded so that it lays flush so that it doesn't wiggle around. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. These wings are partially my own design and partially following a video that I saw. So there are a lot of articulate wing tutorials out there, which is what these are called. Wings that can open and close are called articulate wings or articulated wings. And so there are plenty of tutorials out there, but none of them were really what I was looking for. Because what I wanted from my wings is for them to go up. But a lot of what I was seeing was either one thing going out with a pull tab, which is not what I wanted, or there was a lot of really high-tech two things that involved like machines, and I didn't have the budget for that. And also, the goal for those ones were to make it as realistic as possible. Mine was not to make it realistic, so I didn't feel the need to spend extra to make it that realistic. So I found a 16-second clip of someone opening and closing a pair of wings just like how I wanted. So that's what I based my entire design off of. From that image, I put it onto my own body and then measured out how long I needed each segment to be. And so basically from there, I made the pattern to fit my own size. I created a cardboard mock-up, which I no longer have, and then made sure that the mock-up fit, did a little bit of tweaking so that it extended the way that I wanted to, bought my PVC pipes, and then cut them up so that they were the right shape, and drilled all of my holes through them, and then they were good. And then that's what made this shape. I added the handles a little bit later on, but yeah. This harness is also my own design. So basically the black part is just like a harness that I bought from Hot Topic like 4 years ago, which has a bunch of holes drilled through it. So there's a metal frame here on the back, which this is the part that goes against my body. This is the part, you can see that these two metal cross pieces when you're looking at the costume from behind, which is not ideal, but it's what makes it structurally secure. So these 4 metal bits, these 6 metal bits, I took basically a bit of aluminum. I measured it, drilled out the holes, made sure that it fit properly, and drilled these screws all the way through, the 3 layers of metal, and then through the 1 layer of harness, and that's for all 4 of these guys here. Ooh. And then for these guys that are going through the PVC, which attach to the wings, there's 1 layer of metal, 1 layer of harness, and then 1 layer of PVC, and then the wings get attached on top of it. Alright, so now that we know how the wings work and what the insides look like, we're going to attach them to the harness, and I'll show you how that works. First step is to make sure it's in the right direction. This is the way I would wear it, with this side facing outwards. So now I have to make sure that I face these ones towards my body. So they'd be facing towards the ground. So this wing lines up with this. So first thing I do, I take my materials. For my tools, I have ratchet, screwdriver, and pliers. Pliers is not the best tool for this job, but I don't have a wrench that's the correct size. So I have 4 washers, put them right here, and 4 nuts. Take 2 washers, put them in between. The washers are what allows it to rotate properly, otherwise it would get a little bit stuck and it would get too tight. Then I just slip it over the holes. This one can be a little bit fiddly, this step can be a little bit fiddly sometimes, so I really have to make sure that it goes through the holes properly. And once it's through, I take 2 nuts, get them finger tight. Then to make sure that the screws don't move around, I stick my screwdriver right in the bottom, in there. Stick it in there so that it doesn't move around as I ratchet the screw down. So that one's tight enough so that it won't get off. Then I get my screwdriver through the other one, make sure it's nice and steady, and then start ratcheting this one. And so now this wing, this side of the wings, is fully attached. And there we go. Now both sides are attached. That is what is underneath my wings. But, looks pretty bad. So, what we do is we use the wing socks, I like to call them. So these are sort of like socks, sort of like pillowcases. They've got a hole right here at the end that I can stick my hand through. There's fabric on both sides. There's feathers on both sides of the fabric. Each of these feathers were individually glued on to make sure that it looked nice. Yes, it did take me 2 straight weeks. No, I do not regret it, because I think it gave a really nice effect, especially on the blank side. It's really easy to see that it looks really nice. So this hole here is what allows me to slip the wings on, and this goes on the outside. So let's see, which side does this go on? This goes on this side. So I extend this out. These also had a lot of trial and error. to make sure that it was the right size. So this is fully open, fully flat when the wings are open, and it like crinkles over itself when they close. But it took a lot of trial and error to make sure that it was the right size so that it could fully surround the wings while they were open and while they were closed. So especially this little area, there was a lot of work done down here to make sure that it was big enough. And all of the bigger parts, like the Mumbo for Mayor poster, as well as all their cardboard things, are stuck on using Velcro. All the sticky notes are hot glued in. So I take this little opening, go through the end, right there, scrunch it all on, push it over the edge, and I make sure that this guy goes all the way through, all the way to where it's supposed to be, because there's a little hole right in here somewhere that fits through, and that's why there's feathers on here, because that is the only part of the PVC pipe that's exposed is the handle. So now I scoot it on here, flip the wings over. We're now on the back side. Pull the feathers over, and now this little slit is perfect for tucking over the edge. But there's one more thing that we need to do. I take this end, peel it up a little bit, there should be a Velcro in here, and I take that Velcro and Velcro it on right there. Perfect. And I would do that on the other side. And there we go. These are both of the wing covers on, and these are the wings. Let me show you what they look like on my body. This is what the wings look like when they're on me. Here's the back, and I'll show you how they open. I push out on the handle, they open out like that. Show you again, push out on the handle, push out on the handle, and they open like that. One thing about these wings being so large is that I have a very awkward center of gravity. So if I tilt this way, I will just start to fall. If I tilt forward, I will just start to fall. Right now I don't have any of the big pieces or any of the bottles or lights that I usually would put on, but those are pretty simple to attach. If you want to see me attach them though, let me know. All right. Let me bring them in a little bit. Show you the back when it's open. There's the back. And to close it, you just grip the handles, pull your arms in, bring it down, and then you're good. And they've closed. If you've got good support in your harness, they won't be particularly heavy. I wore these for an entire day, and I had very minimal back pain. So they are not that bad. And there we go. That's the tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will reply to them. I will link a materials list. I will link all of my measurements. Yeah. If there's anything else you want to know about the cosplay, other parts of it, how I made any of my pins, my wig, my earwings, do let me know. But there you go. That's the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Bye!